What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 National Ideas AI only battle. I hope you're enjoying it so far. We're back, another episode. One day sooner than expected. I just got everything set up. It's fine. Everything's working, hopefully. I'll find out, I guess, when I finished this episode. But it should be fine, so that's good news. Why is there two microphones showing up here? That's not good. That shouldn't be happening. While that is you won't see any difference. I'm just going to check something here. Why is there two? There shouldn't be. Device, default, device. That one's okay. Okay, I think it's fine. Hopefully. We should be all good. Whoop, we're flying. There we go. We're back. Make sure nothing goes wrong. We didn't miss anything, so it's fine. Nothing bad happened. Yet anyway. And we will continue. This game's getting very exciting. Nottingham does go back to Spain. We have quite a few big civs left, and there's very few small civs. In terms of small, I would identify those as, well, there's very small, which is Carthage, with one city, Netherlands, two. Those are the very small civs. I would then say there's kind of a smaller, but not super small category, which is Scotland. The Papal State might still fit into that one, and Milan. Although Milan, to be fair, has good technology, but they do still fit into that category with two cities. And Byzantium is probably there as well with 5, even though I know they've pieced out. Problem for them is that I don't see them attacking any of these three, right? They're not going to beat Egypt, they're not going to beat Assyria, they're not going to beat Poland, so that doesn't really help their cause. Then we move up to the next tier, which I would say includes maybe Sweden and Portugal. Yeah, probably. I'm just trying to be fair here to everyone. And then the next civ up, I would say, is the Garamantes, just because I think they are actually going to keep getting smaller. They might be okay at the moment, but I think they're going to lose a bit more to Egypt here. They could lose stuff to Morocco. And then above them, who do we have left? We have Spain, France, Austria, Poland, Assyria, and Morocco as kind of the 6 remaining. I'd probably put Morocco. Morocco has better technology. Like, look, Spain has a lot of boats, but they are all privateers. The submarine is going to have a field day. Probably. But I don't want to compare between them. Obviously, I would say Morocco, Spain, France are kind of still... Oh, and Egypt. I may have missed Egypt there. Never mind, 7. Egypt is being invaded by Assyria, though, which doesn't help either. And it could go badly for Egypt, too. So they're in a mix. They're probably outside as well, just. Maybe Egypt 7th, then. Just based on the situation. Then Morocco, Spain, France, sort of 6th, 5th, and 4th. And then that leaves 3 more. I would say Austria 3rd. I know some people are suggesting Austria could still definitely win this, and I love that. But at the moment, they're not. They could, if they do very well. At the moment, Poland and Assyria are very much in a league of their own. I don't know how much the gap has closed. Assyria is probably getting a lot closer, maybe, but not maybe. I don't know how close they are, but they are probably have closed that gap and are continuing to do that by attacking Egypt. A city did just fall, and I didn't see it, so I'll try for. It was this one, and then some more just fell, which was this one. Assyria took that one, and we have Morocco with the Manhattan Project for themselves. They do actually have some planes. So yeah, Portugal, this is not going to go well. Your navy has been pretty much obliterated. Not a good start. As Zinekra returns to the Garamantes. That's at least something. That's somewhat good. What have we got? Zinekra goes to Egypt again. Never mind, Egypt takes both of those cities back this turn. But we'll see. Assyria doing a lot of damage. Here we go. Austria, you going to do anything? No, another quiet turn. They could go after the Papal State here and at least get this city. But they've got France on this side to worry about too. They seem very focused on this bulge area. There's nothing in like Germany. They just accepted that if they're going to lose some territory, they'll give up Germany. Because there is so many units down here in what was their original land. Not so many in Germany. France is kind of similar, although they're now more focused on defending from Spain's invasion. They have cleared all the threats along this coast. They did lose this city once, I believe, and get it back, but they're holding on to it for now. Has anyone broke through yet by accident? No. It's actually worked. The walls have held. No one has snuck on through. It will happen eventually. certain units can get through as well, which doesn't help. Right, unembargo the city-states. They are banning all the luxuries. No wonder they don't have any happiness. Well, some of them definitely will, but some won't. Spain there. Yeah, they're just not making much progress. They have no artillery weapons or planes. They have one artillery unit in their entire military. That is quite impressive, Spain. Oh no, there's two. There's one right next to it, but neither of them are actually in range, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, no planes, no artillery. You're just making sieges very difficult. I mean, these units cannot really do that much to a 97 pop city. Defense city, so that's, I don't know what is going on there, especially with France now having some planes as well to retaliate. Oh, what you want? A few great war bombers. Not gonna make life easy for the Spanish at all. How Morocco struggling so much to get this city is beyond me, but maybe they're getting closer, getting towards it. Carthage also just surviving at the moment. Syria being held off from this Egyptian city. Of course, they will have to come through the land or put a melee unit in the water, which could easily be destroyed by Egypt with all these units. Oh, we're choosing our host. Okay, no, skip that. 287. As I said, turn 300 will probably start speeding it up. Maybe I'll show you every 10-15 turns, depending on what's going on. If we have loads going on, it might be more. If there's nothing, which can happen, it will be less. But yeah, it is getting very slow, so we're just gonna get through these final 13 turns, and then we will probably announce the winner, as we always sort of normally do. Or actually, you can choose today, there'll be time. So do you want me to do the winner at 300 or 350? Now there may be some biased comments in here depending on who you're rooting for, but I don't mind. We can do the results at 300 or 350. I wouldn't want to do any more than that. But yeah, we'll push it as far as we can, but it's just going to have to go into highlights because it is taking a little long. And then with my estimates, that means sort of by Christmas time we'll be able to start a new one, a Christmas one. I don't want to say a Christmas one. It's not going to be Christmas themed, but there you go. Oh, Morocco flipped that out of nowhere. Okay, did not see that was close. Okay, Porto then falls into the hands of Morocco. That's a big blow to Portugal, although saying that, they get it straight back, but still definitely hurts Portugal. I mean, if cities are going to change hands and lose the population, make sure it's not one of yours. Make sure it's one of your enemies. That's the best way around it. Morocco closing in on this Garamanti city, and it looks like the Papal State heard us. They've renewed their efforts to get Carthage as Egypt continues to fight for those two cities, same two. Come on, give us a big war up in Europe. Austria I think Austria, Poland, and like one of them winning. That's like the dream right now. If one of them could take the other one out, that would be incredible just to watch. And then obviously whatever then that new country, whether it be France or Austria, then how they match up with sort of a Poland. Syria's a bit far away, but you know, maybe I don't even know, maybe they team up with Syria against Poland. You could see some really interesting combos. Of course, saying that, Poland themselves are one of the we're waiting for some action from them. They're not really giving us too much. They have been very peaceful. They have stacked up an awful lot of mobile SAMs around this city for some reason. That I would not want to send a plane into this city. Yeah, Poland. I feel like they kind of know. It's weird, isn't it? The AI is programmed for domination only victory. So it's weird they're not attacking. But at the same time, it does feel like they actually know that they're winning. They were winning by so much on the info addicts that they don't need to risk anything, and they'll be absolutely fine. That would be quite funny if that was to be actually the case. I'm sure it's not, but would have been quite funny. Come on, France, declare war. France is not going to declare the war on Austria just because they are fighting Spain, who probably in the info addicts is a similar military size. Austria, though, could definitely attack France. And I mean, look, Antwerp's open. Amsterdam's pretty open. You could get a pretty good start if you were prepared. So we get another ideology. Carthage going freedom. I believe that's the second freedom civ. I can't remember who was the first off the top of my head. I'll check when it finally opens. There we go. Freedom. No, it is just them. Someone else was, but maybe they had a revolution. Or actually, maybe they're dead. That seems the more you don't really have a revolution if you go freedom, so I'd say they probably died. You can also see some of the autocracy civs starting to flip, although between these four they've actually got some good tourism, so maybe they're coping. Although saying that, Egypt has 103 and Austria has 86, which doesn't help. The Papal State's 70. Yeah, that blows all of the autocracy civs out of the water. And there we go, Carthage, unless they get it back this turn essentially, is eliminated, with the city falling to the Papal State, who are having a bit of a resurgence. They've sort of reconquered a bit of Italy and these islands recently. Gades, Megara, Sicyon, and now Carthage. 4 cities all of a sudden, although I think they had one of them. And they had Megara for quite a while, but there you go. Now they have Carthage. So they're still here. They are very vulnerable. I think Spain would have a field day if they attacked the Papal State. Morocco pieces out with Byzantium, and they also did take this city while I wasn't looking. Byzantium is alive. I don't know why. For a second I thought, nope, there's no Byzantium. What's going on? And they also piece out with Carthage, who's surviving for now. Syria is not managing to push in. I mean, if you put a land... This is where the AI struggles, because they don't build tanks. A tank unit here could easily get into this city right now and just conquer it. But, I mean, a mobile SAM probably could as well if there's a railroad, so maybe it's just bad positioning. But this area here has just been devastated. Lots of pillaged provinces, which makes sense, I guess. Egypt sort of hammering artillery and rocket artillery from one side, Assyria's going back the other way. Kind of makes sense. Go next turn. Egypt and Assyria. Oh, there you go. They peace out. And they did not trade anything. Egypt kept this city as well. But there you go. They were pushed back a little bit. So Assyria, I'm guessing, well, they've only got 2 choices. They can wait and go after Egypt again, or go after Byzantium. But look, Byzantium's rebuilt. They've got a lot of units. It's not going to be easy. And Sweden also piecing out with Byzantium there. Sweden needs to rebuild. They're still quite empty. There's a few units around, but most of this territory is empty. I don't know what they're doing here. Don't attack Austria. I would not recommend that. Even if Austria is not quite the naval powerhouse in the Baltic Sea, I would not mess with these destroyers and submarines when you don't have those as well. The Netherlands, maybe. If you can get open borders to the Netherlands, then go for it. What is going to be our next war? I want to try predict it, but I don't know what it's going to be. Milan with the Manhattan Project. Who could declare a war? Morocco. A lot of them are already being fought. The ones I just want are like between these 3, maybe something between them. But I don't think we're going to get it anytime soon. Poland doesn't look too interested. I don't think Austria will do it. This looks obviously like Austria has a lot of units compared to, say, Poland here. But overall, I think Poland does still probably have more. France has lost a city to... No, they gained a city. Where's... Oh, France took Avignon here in Western Ireland. Okay, so Spain has actually been driven out. I did not expect that. I thought Spain was more the naval... I thought Spain would win the battle out in the ocean, and that would put pressure on French England, and Ireland obviously was all Spanish at one point, but France are managing this. They're doing fine. They have a couple of battleships, some planes, a lot of artillery along the coast, which is probably helping sink a lot of things. But yeah, Spain has struggled a bit. And I mean, one of the big issues, I guess, is that they can't bring all of these boats around. Now, obviously, it's money dependent. I do see they're starting to upgrade some of these privateers to destroyers. Now, there's a lot of them to go. So there's still a Galeas there. They obviously don't have any oil, but if they upgrade all of these to destroyers, that's still very menacing. And I mean, the Papal State, I mean, they do have one submarine, or a couple of submarines, which is pretty difficult. But apart from that, you'd think they'd have a field day on all these islands, all coastal cities, if they went for it. But it doesn't look like they're too keen on that at the moment, with their ongoing war with France. So just destroying each other's units at the moment. Who is next? Who will join Carthage? I would say the Netherlands have got to be always like on edge, that they're going to be next to be eliminated. But in theory, only Austria can really you know, put them out of their misery. Although saying that, they did already die once in this series, and then luckily, you know, the crash brought them back to life, and they've just survived ever since. So that shows you it does actually does run differently. If you remember when I tried doing an alternate campaign alongside the main one, I was wondering what happened here. Carthage fell to Morocco. I was thinking Carthage is gone. How's that happened? But obviously the Papal State lost it to Morocco, because they are also at war, so that makes sense. And the Papal State launching a force to get it back, as Poland also completes the Pentagon Wonder, and Egypt has entered the information era. I don't know if they're first, to be honest. They're the first one I've seen. France has only just entered the atomic era, to give you a bit of a technology, you know, some perspective on which technologies each civ might have overall. Obviously, sometimes you can see from the units, but it is hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, that's obviously a clear advantage there for Egypt over another one of the civs that I said was more powerful. I said Egypt's was situational, right? I did think they were going to lose a lot. I would now say Egypt is probably in a better spot than France, so things do change. But yeah, at the time these cities were on like 0 health, and I thought Assyria was going to just push in, and then they chose sort of to mess it up. Assyria has more aircraft carriers than they have planes. That is, oh no, there's a few more planes down there, but still, they have 3 carriers, and then they only have 6 planes. Which I guess that's actually right, but you'd think you'd just put them on the carriers. If you're going to have them, you may as well. Porto, I didn't even realise Morocco took it back, but there you go, it does fall. And the Papal States recover the city of Carthage. This Carthage unit, this must be brutal, right? You're just sat here. These two are fighting over your stuff. And then you're just watching and you're like, that's my city. And then these two are just ignoring you and continuing to fight over it. That's pretty rough, isn't it? That is... yeah. Tough times. Austria actually squeezed a settler through Milan here. I don't know where it's gonna head towards. There's no empty space at all on the map. So I don't actually, in the playable sort of area, there is 1 spare tile. I'm guessing that is the only one. Morocco has these islands. As far as I'm aware, that's the only tile I can even conceive of being. There's a mountain, but that's, you can't settle on a mountain. There's one here in Norway. You're going in the wrong direction to get there, especially when they could have gone through land. So there's no excuse for that one. There's no tiles here. Yep, no idea where that settler is off to. I think it's just going on a journey to die, probably, so that they don't have to. I don't know if the AI would delete it if they can't find somewhere. I mean, it could maybe squeeze in here. There is a reduced tile gap limit on this map, but I think that is too close. Thing is, with the AI, they'll probably walk down here and try and find a way through the mountains or something, and even though it's not possible. So yeah, they might just do some stupid stuff like that. Actually nearly made it to turn 300, so it'll be a big decision for you guys as to whether we do the results. Poland fans will probably be saying, yep, do them now, get it done, it's over. And those Assyria fans, or any other fans, I guess, neutrals, will want me to keep going. So I'm going to put it to you guys, we're not going to have any controversy in deciding this winner. I've already been told that my mistake to not give the Netherlands their abilities by accident in episode 1 would produce like the karma for Max Verstappen to win. So there you go. I obviously did the Dutch a big favour there. So in that controversial result. So yeah, we're not going to have any controversy in this one. You guys can just vote. There will be controversy if only like one person votes and I look back and they picked Poland to win, but I think we should do, I would say let's do 350. I think we can get there. It's just obviously a bit annoying that we probably won't watch every turn to get to 350. See, it's slowing down a bit, but like I said, if you want to do it at 300, it's your choice. Just leave some comments. I'll just go with whichever one gets commented more. Or you can win, you can sway me. If you leave a comment with a persuasive argument underneath and you're the only one, but I agree with your argument, then you might get in there too. But leave some comments. Basically, that's what you got to do. And if you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like on it, and do leave a comment if you've enjoyed it or have any feedback, any ideas you'd like to see, anything really. Just want to say hi. I'll try to respond and say hi back. So yeah, there is a Discord as well if you want to be more involved. You can be in the multiplayer games or just chat as well, so I thought I'd plug that today. Link in the description. There'll also be a Twitch stream later today if you're watching the day this came out, and again the Twitch link is in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.